Hello and welcome to the first album review on the Abrasive Noise YouTube channel. I'm Luke Parsons, if you don't know who I am. I run the Abrasive Noise website and the podcast and obviously this YouTube channel. So thanks very much for joining me today, and let's get straight into the review. So the subject of today's review is Hadanfard by Nightcrown. This is their second album released after Impious Viam, which was released last year. Nightcrown are a Swedish melodeath band. And they can incorporate sort of elements of black metal and symphonic metal, and yeah, their sound is quite sort of big and sort of empowering and atmospheric, which is what drew me to their music, and which is why I liked Impious Viam so much. And I'd say the key differences between the two albums, even though they're only a year apart. With Hadanfard, I think the songwriting is a little bit better. The transitions between different sections of the song are sort of more natural, smoother. And yeah, just overall, I think the overall quality of the album is a little bit better than the first one. And also with this album, it kind of gets into, straight away it's into the really quality stuff. With Impious Viam, I felt like it took a little bit of time to really get going, whereas I think with Hadanfard, it sort of gets the first track, you're there already. It's kind of top quality, and it's a very, very strong opening to the album. There's lots of great riffs, interesting placements of the riffs, some great melodies, which I think is their strongest trait. And yeah, the music's very expressive. It's very, it's kind of melodies are very expressive, and then the whole sound together is just very grand and very sort of empowering. And it's kind of why I like it, really. So moving on to my favourite songs. So I just spoke about the opening track. It's called Nightcrown. It's a fantastic start to the album. It starts off with like a creepy piano melody. Then sort of goes into a more black and death metal kind of song, so lots of blast beats, lots of tremolo picking, some really good riffs, and the track moves around quite a lot, but I feel that it's a natural flow, ebb and flow, and it's just a really good start to the album. It sort of gets you straight into it straight away. As in Impious Viam, you kind of have to wait a little bit to it sort of builds up. Whereas with this album, it's you're straight into it and you're like, okay, yeah, this is a good album. It's going to be a good album. The third track, Fiat Trad, it's another great song on the album. There's stronger black metal influences on this one, so tremolo pick melodies, some really rapid drumming. Then they do throw in a really awesome riff. Which they kind of use a couple of times. It's placed really well in the song, I think, and it sort of provides that extra sort of weight behind the music. The final track I want to mention is Gudar's Skimning. It's probably the wrong way to say that, but I don't speak Swedish, so there you go. This is quite a chunky track. It's got a lot of riffs, and it's still got loads of melody as well, which is probably some of the best melodies on the album, but this is placed sort of after the interlude in the middle of the album, and it works really well to kind of, because the first half of the album it's like it's intense, and then the interlude sort of brings everything back down, and then after that you need this track to kind of really push it back up again, and I think this track is it does that really well. And yeah, the melodies are just really, really good, really elegant, really expressive. It sort of swells a lot of emotion up in the listener, which is obviously the whole point. And yeah, it's kind of, I think it's like the first guitar solo in the track, which is the best one. And yeah, I think that's one of their strongest traits. The melodies that they use and how they use them. Just works so well, and it's very memorable melodies that they use. Overall, Hadanfard is a really enjoyable listen. The melodies I've just said are the highlight. but I also love the intensity and the presence of the album. You know, it sounds very big, sounds very powerful, and you know, it's kind of, it just sounds epic, really. It's not as epic as the first album, not epic sounding. It's not as sort of all-encompassing as their first album, but it's only a minor detail. It's not really that much difference. It's just one little thing that I picked up on. You know, I'd still say this album, Hadanfard, is an improvement of their first album. And you know, it's one of my favourite albums of the year so far. And yeah, if you check it out, I hope you enjoy it too. Please let me know in the comments what you thought of it. And thanks very much for watching, and see you next time.